Hi guys, this is MrModelnut. The reason why I haven't been on for a while is the old camera took and bit the dust. So I had to borrow my daughter's camera, and she had to explain to me how to use it just a few minutes ago so that I could do a few things. One of the comments, or somebody on the channel YouTube, Detroit Muscle 59, what was your worst fail? Well, I don't really have the worst fail, but I got one of the top 10s that I have, and I still have it. And I'll just dig it out here. Worst fail is one that looks really good at a distance. Everything looks really cool, looks really nice. I'm just going to take it apart here so that it's easier. I'll just leave the hood on. I used the wrong kind of putty. I used green squadron putty, which I found out later never really finished shrinking. Every time it gets warm or dries more, it shrinks up more and more and more and more. This was just beautiful when I first painted it. There was absolutely no marks, no nothing. Well, now you can see where I chopped the roof and sectioned in the roof here and chopped it down here so that I could get the roof down in, which if you look on the inside you can see the line right in here. It's hard to see, but if you look really close, when I look at it from here, I can see where it's still shrinking, and it's from the last time I looked at it, it's even shrunk even more. So I would bet if I was to sand it and do it again, it would probably shrink some more. So I learned not to use that green colored squadron putty that they sell in the hobby stores. That was one of my failures. That it was turning out really nice. As you can see, I even louvered the hood here. Well, I'll put a big hole in the hood here, ground it in so that the air would go in the hood and everything, so that it was going to be really cool looking. And it was going to be two-toned, black and green. I was almost done with it because you can see there's no headlights or taillights in it. And all of a sudden I noticed it started to crack, so I thought, or shrink a little more, and I thought, oh darn. I waited 6 months after putting the green squadron putty and sanding it the first time, and or getting it nice, and then I noticed it kept shrinking, so I just put more putty on it, let it sit for almost 6 months before I sanded it again. Then after I put paint on there, it just kept shrinking. That was one of my worst ones, the top 10. Anyways, let me take the camera off here. Sorry about this. This is new to me, this system. As you can see, the roof. It's hard to focus in this light. I don't know, I just can't quite get the angle so that you can see it. Maybe if I turn the above light off, then you can't see it at all. Anyways, we'll be done with that. Okay, the 29 Ford Model A that I've been working on a T-frame, it's basically done. It is done. I'll have to do some picture shots after I finish doing the videos. Got it all situated in there. Frame's all done. Boy, this camera doesn't focus worth beans. Oh well. Anyways, it's done. One of the other projects I was working on, this one, the El Camino Ranchero, excuse me. I got the engine mounted in there. I had to do some filing so that it would sit down in because I raised the axle up. This one here I was playing with. This was the Challenger. I had just the shell, the bottom, top, and the very top. No canopy, no engine, no running gear in it at all. Anyways, take a few things off here. I decided to put an Ellis Chalmers aircraft engine in there. Didn't quite finish making a frame or anything because when I'm going to glue it together you're not going to see it. Anyways, the interior. So when I get it down in there like that where it belongs, you're not going to see that there's no frame in there. I just decided to just have fun making it fit, which I had to cut a hole on the bottom for the bottom part of the oil pan and everything, and top for the heads to stick through and everything. I just got to get the air intake glued in after I glue it together. Another project I was working on was an old rat Vega that I had. It's one that kind of got all busted up when I was young and just threw it in the corner. If I take this off, there's the interior I was building, or the inner works of it. Boy, this thing is so foggy, or weird, touchy camera. Anyways, that's all that is. Got a lot more to do on it. And then I'm going to strip the decal off of it and paint it all up nice and black. It's got it looking fairly decent. Got to find a thing in there. One of the other things is I'm going to get this camera back on the tripod. Bear with me. The other camera I had, it didn't matter. One of the other questions somebody had is why did I join YouTube and the YouTube community and show my models and videos? Well, I used to be in a club around here. We used to have pretty good fun. It just, people weren't impressed anymore with the stuff, and I wanted to show more people the stuff I could do and see how many people liked some of the stuff I did or not. And done a lot of work to a lot of models, and I thought some people got to see it instead of just me where I have them stored. And I wanted to show chopping a 34 Ford truck. Anybody who's just starting out chopping, one of the easiest ones to do. If you chop it clean and straight, you don't have to do any mud work at all. Just sand it down smooth. Maybe a little if you got some bad saw and don't cut it quite square, but you could chop it down perfectly square if you cut the right amount down. Everything fits together. A little bit of sanding, do some priming and maybe some more sanding, just using primer and paint, and you can get this thing to look really cool. I've got one that I've chopped where the rear window is just a sliver. One of the other trucks chassis that I've had that was easy to chop and have fun doing was taking a 53 Ford, chop it at the top of the post, chop bottom of the post in the front, both sides, cut it at the bottom of the window all the way around. Perfect. If you do it right and cut it, and then all you have to do to cheat a little bit so you don't have to do any mud work, and I did this by accident, is slice the back, bring it back together. When you glue the hood down or roof down, it comes out so that you don't have to do any mud work. And all I did is cut a piece of styrofoam to be in the shape I wanted, to the side as far down as I wanted. I clamped it in place with the clamp. Then when you put the roof down, you can glue it down in. It holds it in place so that it won't sit down. And then you just file these just a little bit to fit back in. Actually, what I did is I reversed them because the angle was so close together. When you get it all done, there you just chopped a 53 Ford truck. And if you do a little bit of sanding and mud work right at the back here, when you put the box back in, you don't need to do any work down low. Real simple job that I found, and I've done a couple of these, a lot of them actually. Then when I made a club cab 153 Ford, I had an extra back. I was wondering what that would fit. I looked at that angle and I says, I know it. I took a 49 Mercury, cut it at the back of the doors, right perfectly at the back, round across the roof, nice and clean. Glued that right back in place. I just had to do a little sanding around here, a little bit of mud work down at the bottom, grinding the plastic a little bit, little mud work, get it all done. Made a 49 Mercury coupe, sedan coupe, into a pickup truck version. So then I just took a box from the 53 Ford and the rear section of the frame and made that into a truck. Those are the things that our car club just kind of went, okay, it looks very cool. But now you guys kind of like to want to know that stuff or see it. The other question was, where do you store your models? That was from Matthew. I store them everywhere. I've got boxes, as you saw one of the boxes that I had stored for a long time and I kind of forgot about how dusty it was. The other place I store them when they're completely done is up in a bedroom. There I'm going to turn the camera off and go up there and show you them. Hi guys, welcome to the bedroom. Usually made my daughter's bedroom. As you can see, the painting of the sky, stuff that's up there. Put up a shelf, put the models in cases, all kinds of models that I have all done. I've showed them different things, different shops. There's a 40 Ford that I made into a 3-window, like the mud work I did on that green one that shrunk. Bunch of other models, all kinds of them, as you can see. Working my way around. Oh, light shining funny. There's the sedan, or the sedan, Club Cab 53 Ford. I did quite a bit of work there. The El Camino Charger, the 5360, or 37, 53, 64 Ford Chev, all combination. Shorten 57. There's the 49 Mercury coupe that was made into a pickup truck. Like I was telling you, he just chopped the back half off right at the doors, put that back section right on. There's a 40 Willys sedan delivery. There's my little red Diora tow truck. First drag racer, Model T. Somebody was to have built one back in the 50s, what they might have looked like if somebody was doing it on a budget. Another storage place I have is an old showcase. Has all of the models in there, all kinds of them. Quite a few actually. Still have some in some cases here that I've done quite a bit of. Some old ones, some new ones. 2 cases there. Another section over there is just where radio control is. Just keeping it out of the way from the basement. When we had problems, I was able to save them. Cases that I found are really reasonable at a swap meet or a Salvation store. Somebody had thrown them in here. They had a crack, but they were good, really good for models, but they probably didn't look good for them. There's a chopped 40 Ford. These 3 here, I keep them separate. They have working headlights and taillights. These ones here just, I have had one of these original truck 37 Plymouth. My dad owned one of these 41 Mercury. That's just a sedan delivery 53 Chevy. There's the last big one that I did that I took a long time to do, where it's got the 58, 55 and caddy taillights. Lots of work. Anyways, I still got room for quite a few yet. That's where I store them. That's MrModelnut saying, where do you store your models? Quite a few, huh? Woo!